The map is not the territory. The map is not the territory. Getting closer to the Amazon is like zooming into an immensely complex and abundant system. Diving deeper is confronting, as it leads to the experience that in fact, one knows nothing. How do we connect to this rainforest? How do we read the territory of the Amazon basin? What are the meanings and definitions that our society deposits into this territory? What is the history, the past and the present of colonization that we impose on Amazonia? Trying to grasp the complexity of this region where multiple realities coexist reveals that there is no one Amazon, but a multitude of them. There are as many Amazons as there are realities that shape it. Through the prism of this research, Amazonia revealed itself as a myriad of realms, a living space, a monument to planet Earth, a home for traditional knowledge, ancestral memories, and indigenous cosmovisions. Amazonia is their home, their ecosystem, and their way of life. Indigenous peoples have been inhabiting, sustaining, and protecting these territories, developing traditions and knowledge that are still far from being fully understood. The extractive and colonialist practices operating in the region critically endanger their survival, along with the survival of its biodiversity. There is a persistent view of Amazonia as a remote territory able to provide endless natural resources. At a global level, the region is a provider of significant quantities of commodities, while in parallel, seen as the most important source of fresh water and biodiversity, as a regulator of the planet's climate, and as a carbon sink for large quantities of greenhouse gases. More than half of the Amazon region, 66% of it, is subject to permanent and ongoing pressure due to human extractive practices such as oil and mineral exploitation, road infrastructure development, agricultural activity, and hydroelectric plants. Deforestation, burning, and loss of carbon stocks are proof of the large-scale transformations taking place in Amazonia. All oil and mineral extraction, the creation of hydroelectric plants, and the deforestation for the establishment of intensive pasture and monoculture exploitation all have a direct and lasting impact on waterways, ecosystems, and the biodiversity they host, directly affecting the populations living in the region. Environmental and ecological matters need to be understood within the social, political, and economic context, as much as climate change needs to be comprehended as a consequence of the political crisis. As long as the extractive economy leads the markets, governments will keep being hostages of corporate interests, while public interests, such as environmental and social rights, will come second. Addressing climate change requires addressing climate justice, an exercise that begins with revisiting the colonial relationship we have with nature and other cultures and societies, a relationship built in the West upon the foundations of Cartesian dualism, in which nature as a cultural invention is incorporated into the human as a passive external system, ready to be dominated and possessed. Scientists warn that the Amazon is hurtling towards a tipping point beyond which it would begin to transition from a dense tropical forest into a dry, degraded savanna, unable to support the immense diversity of life that calls the world's largest rainforest home.